We have matching microphones now.
Well, Scott's is a little short.
Whoa. Mine is appropriate size and it gets the job done.
We got two Alfieri. Is Mikey always in the middle?
Mikey in the middle.
Mikey always seems to be in the middle.
We should do like a Brady Bunch open where we all lick each other and then you're.
Oh, that's good. That's a good idea. Do we have that editor? Do that.
Editor.
Now let's start off with something very interesting here within the college football world. Scott, will you throw this up for me, please?
Yeah.
So, Cal Stanford, iconic rivalry, and after the game, they rushed the field, and check this out. A fan tried to steal a Cal Berkeley player's helmet, and the equipment guys, look at this, chase him down, hit him,
pursuit angle,
look
dude.
at that. Boom.
The pursuit angle and finish is just
throw him on the ground. Yeah, it's very beautiful. And then get that back. This is actually, this is very inspiring. This is, kind of do well whatever you do, whether you're on the football field or you're the equipment manager, take your job seriously 100%. How do you feel about this?
Ajay Quad coming out and Nick right here. Dude, the peripheral vision of this guy, get him on the field, strap him up, get him out there. Cause like I said, the pursuit angle is insane here and closing speed, all of the above. He hawked them like, I don't know. I saw an owl swoop in and kill a mouse the other night. And this is pretty much the same thing.
Whoa, really? Where did you see the owl?
Dude, it's out. So at my mother-in-law, she lives in Santa Barbara, but up in the hills. And all I've been hearing is this hooting for like 3 weeks in the middle of the night. And it's like right outside the window. So I opened up the door. It was a full moon, could see everything almost. And then I just saw this thing swoop right past my face and snag something on the ground. I don't know if it was a mouse, but I'm just going to say it's a mouse.
Okay. All right. We'll keep it with the mouse. Yeah. This guy's got the pursuit of an owl trying to go. This is actually impressive. What is this guy like? What is this fan thinking? What is he thinks he's going to steal a $500 helmet in broad daylight with 1,000 cameras on him and get away with it?
Dude. They won't even let players take their helmets after they're done playing.
I know. You play for a program for 4 years. You give everything you got, and you ask for a helmet at the end. It's like, yeah, you can buy it for $500.
Yeah, the buyback program is absurd. You have to buy your jersey. You have to buy your equipment. I just threw it in a trash bag and said it was trash, and then I was just walked out.
Oh, so you stole it.
I don't know about that.
You earned it.
Yes, earned it. I put in the blood, sweat, and tears. What do they call it?
A lot of tears.
Sweat equity is what I paid for it with.
Mostly tears. There we go. So this is our lead-in story to college football. The big hit, best hit, top 10 play of the week is this.
It's reminiscent of the Stanford Cal game. The band rushing the field and all that kind of stuff. Like this is 2.0. This is the 2024 version of it.
Yeah, true. Look at that. So anyway, besides the Cal Stanford, who are both in the ACC, which makes no sense at all and really, really disturbs my geography-loving brain, here are our rankings for the college football playoff came out here, newest rankings. There, now you can see it. Okay, we have got right now 3 SEC teams in this prospective bracket. There are 3 SEC teams, 4 Big Ten teams, 2 ACC teams, 1 independent, Scott, Notre Dame, 1 Mountain West, and then 1 Big 12 squad currently in the bracket. What's jumping out to you here, Scott? How do you feel about this?
I mean, what's jumping out is the fact that even Alabama is still the second team out. Like, dude, a 3-loss team, and they lost horribly this last one. It's just like, can we please like close the chapter? At least on this year with Alabama, like they didn't cut it. I know there are many scenarios in which they could potentially make it, but at this point in time, it's just like, okay, let's move forward. Let's take the next step. I like seeing the variety of teams here. It's so different, and it's reminiscent of the college basketball bracket, right? Where you have such a variety of teams from so many different conferences, and you have the at-large bids and the Power Fives, and then you have the mid-majors and all that kind of stuff. So this is feeling a lot like college basketball, which is really cool in football, but it's like, man, I don't know if this is the best lineup for the highest quality of football. I mean, the SMU Notre Dame game will be intriguing because I think those are both middling teams. But I don't know. I feel like Miami's a paper tiger ultimately. I get the sense that like having a Tennessee Georgia matchup is just, come on, let's save SEC teams for other points in the playoff and trajectory and stuff like that. And then the Big Ten matchup between Indiana and Penn State, I'm just like, this doesn't juice me up. This feels just like another version of the conference championships.
Did Indiana and Penn State play in the regular season?
Not this year, yeah, because that would have been a huge feather in the cap for Indiana if they beat them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, true. Because that was the big knock on them. They didn't really play anybody legit until Ohio State. I actually think that could be an interesting game, Indiana Penn State. But I know what you mean. It's kind of weird. Like, on one hand, I like the idea of giving the conference champions or the top 4 conference champions the automatic bye.
Right.
Because that means that maintains a slight level of tradition of like, okay, if you win your conference, you get rewarded for it.
Right.
But because there seems to be such a disparity in the talent level in the conferences, it's like, should we really have Boise State get a bye? And also Miami, I feel the same way about Miami. I'm not trusting any college football school out of Florida after what happened with Florida State this year. I'm not sure. And I do feel like, okay, I understand the rules here, but come on, like Boise State should not be getting a first round bye. They should be in the playoff, and that's exciting. And we love Ashton Johnson, what he's doing, but they should be playing in the first round. Let it. I don't know who would deserve a bye in your opinion.
My heart wants to say Notre Dame, but they don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve it.
Never listen to your heart.
Never.
Dude, I don't know. Looking at this, I would have to say Ohio State right now. I mean, the game that they played against earlier on in the season against Oregon, like they weren't hitting full stride yet. It was a great game nonetheless, but like they're clearly outside of say maybe Georgia, they're clearly the top team here, in my opinion, even above Oregon now. So I would say Ohio State getting that. And granted, it's like they had their destiny in their own hands, and they didn't get it done against Oregon, so that's why they're kind of sitting in this position. But they did last week against IU. They got a big game this upcoming week against Michigan, which like everybody's freaking out about in Ohio, which is bothersome to me. But because Notre Dame and SC are up this weekend, that's what I care about.
True, the Notre Dame SC game that'll be. What do you think happens to Notre Dame if they lose that game? Are they out? Or are they still in the conversation? You think they're out if they lose that? Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, you have your Northern Illinois loss.
Yeah, that one's too big to miss. And SC is just a shadow of what they once were. They've fallen apart so badly over the past 6-7 weeks. And then, dude, even over the past 15 years. Why do you dislike Notre Dame so much?
I'm mad at Notre Dame for I appreciate that they have been independent all these years, but like
they're independent. They don't need no conference.
They don't need no conference. Join a conference, play
strong
a real
independent school.
Yeah, strong independent school. I don't like it that you guys remain independent and then you just finesse your way in with an easy schedule to a top 10 ranking every year. And recently, I don't like it. I want to see them play in the Big Ten. That's how I feel. Okay.
Okay. I mean, I get it. I'm a little bit, as a fan, I get bored halfway through the season. So I would agree with you. I get bored strictly because it's so formulaic as it seems.
That's what it is.
Their schedule. It's just like, I get the tradition. It's beautiful and that's to be lauded. But at a certain point, you do have to start playing better teams if you're going to be demanding or at least insisting that you should be in the postseason play. Because like sometimes I get the sense that we just rest on our laurels and play the teams that we're used to playing strictly for tradition's sake, as opposed to like pushing the envelope and trying to push the program forward in the competition's sake. I don't think that necessarily means they have to join a conference, but I think they can schedule games in teams more competitively as opposed to more advantageously.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Also, there's something, just because I'm a Georgetown guy and that's the best Catholic college in the nation, not Notre Dame. So I've got a little I like to shoot shots at Notre Dame. I think that's just something. Sorry.
I have no words. No words.
I got nothing.
Moving on to the Arizona State Sun Devil. So their head coach Kenny Dillingham. This dude is in his second year there. He's really turned the program around. Right now, they're sitting at the top of the Big 12, and like we said, they're projected to be in the playoff here. This dude, now here's Scott. I'm going to share this one. I said so. The end of that BYU Arizona State game was pretty wild. The time run out, but there's a little bit of controversy if there's 1 second left or not. So I'm going to play this of Kenny Dillingham. Keep in mind, this dude is, I think he's like about our age, Scott. Maybe he's 1 year older.
This coach?
This coach. Yeah. He's like 33, 34. Okay. So I'm going to play this here of his behavior as the officials are trying to decide if there's still one play to be played on the clock. So granted, right now, keep in mind that they had just won the game, they thought, or think, and the officials are deciding if there's going to be another play snapped.
That's bullshit! Bullshit! That's bullshit!
So
This guy, hold me back.
That's
This kind of guy.
yeah, Mike, what do you
no
think?
bite. I think it's just embarrassing to be caught on tape doing that overacting.
Yeah.
Have some sort of faith. If you're entering the unknown and you have to face this situation, have some sort of faith in your team and your coaching to pull through this. Don't just throw all your pride out the window and think that you're going to flip the whole decision by screaming. When has that ever worked? When has a ref ever been chewed out by a coach and then go, "Oh, actually, you're right. Sorry.
You're right. Yeah. Oh, you really made me think about this decision I made.
Protect your image at a certain point."
That's what I was going to say. That's like, is that not pretty embarrassing? Like on one hand, I respect the passion of college coaches, and he's a young coach. The thing that I do respect about this dude is he is from Arizona. He went to Arizona State, so he's like a hometown guy. He's the first head coach in Arizona State history to be a native Arizonian or whatever you call him. So he's from there. He's a hometown guy, and this is his dream job, and he's got it at age 34. He did turn this program around. But that's embarrassing behavior, isn't it?
Yeah. Look, regardless of it being your dream job or not, this is just like unbecoming of a professional at any level. And when you're in I get it. You could be feeding off the energy of that crowd. Clearly the field was rushed by all the fans, ASU fans. You got college kids who are probably wasted and screaming in your ear, hyping you up. If you're 33, you're probably getting in your feels and remembering your good old days back 10 years ago when you were doing the same thing. And you're just like, yeah, I'm one of the boys right now. And he's trying to just bring that same energy. But this is like, man, come on. We've been harping on like being leaders of men, and the difference between I would be really curious to see like say a Deion Sanders who we highlighted on Monday and how he approached a loss in a tough situation and how that essentially destroyed or put the season of the Colorado Buffaloes, their season, on the brink, right? So like he approached it in a vastly different way, in a mature way, in a leadership type of way. And then this guy is just like firing from the hip out of emotion. And it's just like, dude, I don't know if that's the most motivational thing. And to Mikey's point, it's just like, that's not going to convince anyone. And honestly, even if you had the best argumentation, like an Aristotelian argumentation, like the ref is not going to change his mind, bro. Like that's not going to happen.
Aristotelian. That's a vocab word of the day.
That's a new one.
Write that down, Mike.
Okay. And how do you spell that again? It's
A something. It's
perfect. Got it. Yep, I got it.
Also, another thing is, and sorry for the people just listening, but if you were able to see him screaming like this, he just looked really, really weird and ugly and scary. Like you can look cool when you're making a point like this and kind of losing your shit a little bit. But he just looked weird and creepy and scary.
That's what did it for me. If
right?
He looked cool screaming. Sure, there's some fear in it, but there was you could tell there was like, I don't fear somebody acting that way.
No. So now let's compare that. Scott, will you please throw this up to the BYU coach, Kalani Sitake, after, hold on, sorry, sharing this instead. This is how he reacted after the situation. Just a quick 30-second clip. Here we go.
I hate getting mad at the fans. I mean, they're so excited to get the win. It's two ranked teams that were playing. All we heard is that might be 1 second. And I'm going to cling on to as much hope as I can, And so it's okay. None of our guys are hurt, and so there's no big issue there. And they eventually cleared it, and we were able to get that one play. And so I understand the fans' excitement and energy, and it's okay. Nobody. I mean, I didn't think they were they're too rude to us. I mean, they're excited about their win.
Yeah.
So
Grown up response here.
yeah. So which coach would you rather play for?
I like this guy a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just level-headed individual. Like, give me that kind of coach.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. This is a guy, I can't remember, Mike, if you and I were talking about this, but it's so hard to play for a coach that you don't respect as a human. And I'm not this is not to say that what is his name? Kenny Dillingham. What is his name? Yeah, Dillingham. I wouldn't respect him as a coach if I played for him, and his players don't respect him. However, this little glimpse right here, we're taking two little 30-second snippets of these two guys, these two coaches, and one makes a very much better impression than the other. I feel like I respect this coach here of BYU more just as a human being. And for me, as a former player, it's a lot easier to play for a guy like this. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's to my point there. Like, I would rather play for a level-headed individual who has those tools in his toolkit to lead guys and to find those moments when he can show his leadership to them by example, by very few words. Like, I've always been somebody who kind of cringes with like the raw energy sort of guy. Like, it just, it doesn't, I don't connect with that because I'm not one of those dudes. So it's like, and there are a bunch of guys within the locker room who are, similar and or they may feed off that energy. So it's being able to pick and choose like your battles, your moments, and being able to like put it in a way that the people you're speaking to directly, whether it be your full team, your position group, or whomever, making sure that they are getting the message in the way that they receive it the best. And like the dichotomy here is so stark. So like I would much rather play for a level-headed man as opposed to a energized sort of childish coach.
It's very, let's go, Mike. Yeah.
Oops.
Whoops.
Okay. Here's actually a good point I had.
Okay.
You inspire people by the emotions that you hold back, not the emotions that you show. It's like in acting. If the actor cries, then the audience doesn't cry. If you see the actor holding back tears, then the audience cries for you. It's that same kind of philosophy with coaching. It's showing the emotion. It's the stoicism. I'm able to hold back these emotions, even though I feel this so strongly. This inspires you because you're seeing this strength.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mike, I like that point because I was just watching a show and the character like dealt with a little bit of heartbreak situation, and instead of bawling his eyes out, you could he like had a tiny bit of tears, and he kept it buttoned up, he kept it together, but you could see the emotion behind his eyes. Way more powerful than screaming and crying.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Mikey, well, we'll be the ones to determine whether or not it's a great point, and it was a great point. Good job.
Yeah, Mikey always comes in anytime he's saying, "Oh, I have a great point here." You can say, "I have a point." I have a point.
Nope. Premeditated. Great point. I already decided.
Mikey's
No
batting
opinions
1,000. Only great points ever since he got his new microphone.
It's true. I feel so professional.
Yeah, that's good. Now that you're not so echoey, sound like you're in a metallic box when you talk.
Yeah, and I'm sitting still too. So 2 for 2.
Wow, there we go. This show is trending.
It's maturing right before our eyes, folks.
Wow, Mike, I'm so proud of you. You're growing up, Mike.
Thanks.
Okay. Let's talk a little NFL ball. Day before Thanksgiving, we got a couple NFL games tomorrow. Mike, I'm going to be going over to Coach Newman's house for a little American Thanksgiving here in Germany. We're going to watch the Lions play the Bears. That'll be very exciting.
Wow, that's fun. Yeah. Does he cook? Does he do a Texas style?
So I've actually been assigned to bring the mashed potatoes. So every person is supposed to bring a new thing. So I'm actually kind of freaking out. I got to get enough mashed potatoes for 12 people. So
you're going to make that?
With me and Laura, we're going to make it.
Oh,
talk about the simplest thing you had to make. I mean, dude, just get a bag of potatoes and mash them.
Have you ever made mashed
for a few days?
Yeah,
beating down on the mayonnaise.
I sent that exact meme, Mike, to Jordan when he asked me to bring the mashed potatoes. Sent that exact meme. So that's what we got. But touching on the Detroit Lions here, Dan Campbell had a nice little quote about the softness of the NFL because the NFL fined the Lions for a celebration here. Oh, yeah, here it is. Scott, will you please pop this up for me? They fined Jameson Williams for his Marshawn Lynch touchdown celebration, and then the NFL used the photo of that celebration in their YouTube thumbnail of the highlights. Here's Dan Campbell commenting on it really quickly here.
It's gotten really fun. The league lets it happen, which I think is fun for the fans.
Well, it depends on what that is, whether the league lets it happen, right? They'll use whatever they need to, the content, but keep going.
It's gotten really
Dude, man of few words, but he nailed he nailed it. Like we covered this on Monday, I think it was, and where Jahmyr Gibbs, he did that stare down, a la beast mode and everything like that. But at the same, I almost forgot. Marshawn Lynch. It's so early in the morning here, guys. But no, he's killing it here because it's like we talked about Jahmyr Gibbs, the softness of the NFL, the refs calling that a personal foul, taunting, all of that kind of stuff. It's just like, dude, looking at a man is now becoming a taunt. Like this, I think Dan is approaching it and attacking it the right way because he's not attacking necessarily the officiating. He's attacking the NFL at large because they're the ones who utilize all of these viral moments to their benefit in their marketing and so on and so forth. But then they're penalizing the guys who generate that content by taking away money and literally taking money out of their pocket. So it's this double standard that the NFL is approaching things with. And I'm glad that Dan Campbell is saying it as he is. And it's just in as few words as possible. And like, this is what I'm talking about is the leadership of Dan Campbell is coming out and like, hey, an adult way of approaching the situation right here.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the hypocrisy of it and the inconsistency of the messaging from the NFL there, and to just you take what is it $20,000 from Jameson Williams, which in the grand scheme of things for these NFL players is not something crazy, but it's still $20,000. And then they directly use that image for the YouTube thumbnail, and the YouTube video, I bet you will generate not $20,000, but it'll generate revenue. So you're going to take his money and then make money with what he did, but fine him for it.
Yeah, it may not be a direct correlation to the dollars that video specifically will make, right? But it's another feather in the cap of the marketing beast and behemoth that is the NFL, and it's getting kids energized and juiced to like play the game and play it similarly and bring the same sort of energy so that in the future they make more money and so on and so forth. So it's like, dude, you're call it mining your own players, which like I get. It's a business, but at the same time, to penalize a guy for doing that for you, and also such an innocuous thing as that, is just, I think it's such a low blow. And as you said, it's a double standard. It's the hypocrisy that really gets me.
At least the NFL knows what a good YouTube thumbnail is, though. Like they know that's a good YouTube thumbnail. So they know what they're doing. Scott, I'm really sorry about this. We'll just do it quickly like a Band-Aid, but we have to touch on this. We can just really quickly. Please share what I have put up.
What are you
touch on the Cleveland Browns? They say they plan to keep Kevin Stefanski, their general manager Andrew Berry, and their pervert quarterback Deshaun Watson. I added the pervert part, wasn't in the headline. Sorry, alleged pervert.
Creative liberties.
Creative liberties.
He was just messing around. Sorry.
Got
that.
They are keep it. They are keeping Deshaun Watson for 2025. They will look to create competition for Watson in the quarterback room. This, Scott, really quickly, how are you feeling about this? Because from the outside, I just think as a non-Browns fan, as an objective viewer, I think, how stupid is this? How do you feel?
I don't know. Look, the organization, the NFL, we were just talking about the NFL just supporting mental health and mental health awareness. This is the most depressing news that the NFL or an organization can give me right now. So are you guys really supporting mental health? Because you're not doing it for me. This is bullshit. Something needs to change. There's no way that they can continue doing the same thing. I know it's a butchered quote, but this is stupidity on its face right here, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting to win. We tried this last year. It failed. We tried it again this year and it fell apart. And look, I get it. You paid the guy a stupid amount of money, but don't don't punish us, the fans, for your stupid investment, bro. Like, swallow it. It's a sunk cost. Wrong, bad look. Move on. The guy also has off the field issues, which has been, that's been insane to cover. And the fact that you even picked him up during that time in which it was still up in the air, like, which it still is, but like it was hotter then. All of this stinks. It stinks to high heaven, and like this is a pile of crap. We need to move on. We need to try and fix this because this is so depressing, and this gets me so mad during a week of Thanksgiving. Granted, every week is a week of Thanksgiving, but like I was supposed to come out of this show happy, and this is pissing me off, dude.
The NFL
Insane.
and Scott nominated for an Academy Award. I love the bit about the mental health. The NFL not helping. The NFL is damaging Scott's mental health in all Cleveland brands. They act like they're more hypocrisy like that. I mean, I can't listen. I just wanted to give you that space right there to vent, and everything that you said is very, very valid and correct. And I'm sorry that you have to be forever tied to the Cleveland Browns. We will hopefully have more positive news in maybe a few years. We'll return to it. But speaking of Thanksgiving and giving thanks, big week for families, right? Mike, we're family. We do the show together.
Yeah, more or less. Sure.
Yeah. More or less.
Name.
Yeah. We have the same last name. The Harbaugh brothers. There was the Harbaugh Bowl this week. Jim Harbaugh of the Chargers, John Harbaugh of the Ravens. Here, pop this up really quickly. Scott, here we go. This is funny. And then Mikey, I know you want to talk about the Harbaugh brothers really quickly. Is this going to get us copyrighted if I play this?
I don't know. You could just act it out. Have Mikey act it out since he's the younger brother.
Oh, that's rich.
Oh, yeah. You know what? It's an interview of Jim Harbaugh saying that he loves his brother. He would die for his brother, take a bullet for his brother, but he will not let his brother win a football game, which I think that's a great way of describing brotherhood. Don't you think, Mike?
Yeah, sure. I like it. I wouldn't take a bullet for you, but I like the sentiment.
Okay. Well, Mike, talk to us. I know you were really excited about the Harbaugh Bowl, the brothers. You prepared for Mikey's marvelous minute, the Harbaugh Bowl.
Here we go. Big game. Okay. Jimothy versus John. Little brother versus older brother. A tale as old as time, if you will. And in a battle that I'm all too familiar with as being the fifth born out of six. And always having to fight up. And here's the thing that I can tell you about fighting up. Doesn't matter how good you are, what your skill level is in comparison, there's a psychological block that we have as little brothers in defeating the older brother. Okay? And Jim was really struggling with this. Right now, he's 0-3 versus John in the Harbaugh Bowl versus during their NFL matchups through the course of their career. Here's what I'll say. Sad day for little brothers everywhere. Chargers as a whole played like little brothers. They only rushed for 80 yards. They let Derrick Henry rush for 140 yards. 200 yards of rushing that ran all over. Ravens ran all over the Chargers. Okay? Mm-hmm. They allowed Herbert to get sacked 4 times. They just got pummeled in certain aspects that was reminiscent of my childhood. And let me draw a picture to commemorate the little brother battle. You can see John here just pulling the classic move, hand in the face as Jim tries to run towards him. It's a sad tale as old as time. Now, this brings me to my next point. Sorry. What are Jim's options from here? Okay? It's like the Little Giants. He's like, in a way, Will Ferrell in Kicking and Screaming, battling his old man. Here's what he needs to do. He needs to frame Jim. I'm sorry. Jim needs to frame John for writing Ditka sucks on Mike Ditka's driveway and get Mike Ditka involved. Okay? To beat his brother. He needs some more support. The other option, hypnosis. Jesus, let's get that mental block out of you. Because the team can do it. There's just that mental block he's had as a little brother. So those are all my points on the Harbaugh Bowl and scene.
Well, I like the hypnosis. Hey, and we can, Scott, will you please throw this photo up here in honor of little brothers fighting their big brothers? Little Giants, one of the best sports movies of all time. Little Giants coming out of the 90s. Rick Moranis and Ed O'Neill playing the brothers here. Shout out to the Little Giants. Mikey, that's us right there. I'm the cool
I
one.
look so tall in that picture.
No, you're the guy with the little boy hat.
Little boy.
You're Rick
Propeller
Moranis.
hat.
So there we go. I can't. You looked up a stat, Mike. So Jim has not beat John ever.
Never in the NFL. 0-3. Isn't that pathetic?
Well, this is the first time they faced each other since the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah,
I think so. Mike, that's just like you and me, Mike. I'm John. You're never gonna beat me at whatever we're doing.
That's not true. Ping pong, racquetball,
Damn it.
Running of sorts.
Okay,
no, Nick's into the jogging now, so I don't know.
Okay, sprinting.
What's the distance? Scott, do you have this in your family with your boys, your brothers?
Oh yeah, dude. Are you kidding me? This is like on a daily. I mean, Sean, he's the one that I was always trying to beat. Eric is always nipping at my heels. Granted, he's taken over in the athleticism realm, so I have to give him that. So now it's just like, now we're just going at it, trying to tackle each other intellectually because we're too far, we're distanced too far, like physically. So now we just have to go at it mentally.
Are you and Eric dueling with mind and who has the better vocabulary?
Duel of Fates. Yes. This is just John Williams playing at all times. Every time that we exchange messages, it's Obi-Wan versus Anakin, you know, as you very well know in your Star Wars fandom.
Nerd alert. Star Wars. It's like we have a lightsaber. That's you.
That's you. Nice, Mike. Get him.
Got him.
Get him, Mike. So there we go. Not me, Mike. Don't roast me. Okay. So who's next? Somebody else. The brothers Harbaugh. The tale continues. So there we have it. That was Monday Night Football. Now we did prepare because it's Thanksgiving week, and we're giving thanks for a lot of things in our life, including our brothers. Say it. Say you're thankful for me, Mike.
I'm thankful for my brother.
You really brought out the Andy in you right there.
We have prepared for Thanksgiving week our Thanksgiving dinner, our meal of NFL players. Okay, this is sort of an abstract thought, and we are putting together an NFL plate, a Thanksgiving plate, and I'm going to throw up a picture. There we go. Okay, that is a picture of Thanksgiving dinner, if I've ever seen one. Now, do you want me to go first, Scott, or do you want to go first?
Yeah, let's. You know what? I'll take it. So first and foremost, we got the turkey, right? It's the main horse in the stable for all things Thanksgiving, right? You got to have the bird on the plate, but there's a variation of the bird. So you have the dark meat, you have the white meat. Now I'm not going to go all DEI on you here. So I'm going to go Joe Burrow is the dark meat. He is the succulent, great tasting quarterback on the field. He's the one who gets he balls out all the time. I think he has 3 games where he's thrown over 500 yards, 3+ touchdowns. The works, man. He brings it every single time, just like the dark meat. Now, the white meat, I would say, is Jordan Love. He is the one who, you got the flash, you got the money, you got the big payday. He's got the wins, but he's also thrown, I think, the 3rd most interceptions this year. So it's like, hey, buddy, like, you're here, you're good, you're quality, you got the W's, but you need to get right. And the only way to get right is to throw some, not gravy. I know you're going to go for the gravy, but in my household, we use chili. And I'm not talking about the Skyline stuff. I'm talking about the stuff from New Mexico, the 503 Hatch chili. That is Joe Mixon, right? Because he's the one who complements that white turkey. You got to slop it on there in order to give it some flavor, give it some juice. So he's been balling out in a way that's, just uncanny down there in Houston this year. Secondarily, you have to have the starch. You have to have the backbone of the plate, which is mashed potatoes. And who is that? Okay. That's George Kittle, because he gets it all done. You can mix it with anything and it'll hit, right? So you can mix it with the dark meat, the white meat, the gravy, the chili, whatever. And it's always going to taste good. And that's George Kittle, because he can do it all. He can do it all. You put him in any position and he will do it for you and for your team. And he'll do it happily. That's what he's going to do. And then lastly, green beans. We got Trey Hendrickson on the defensive side. I talk about Joe Burrow being the dark meat and coming in each and every week. Trey Hendrickson is definitely that dude as well for the defense. But boy, the Bengals defense is poo-poo without him. He has 10.5 sacks, maybe 11 on the year. And the rest of the team has like 7. So they're like 30th in the league for sacks, yet he is the leading sack guy in the NFL right now. So that's my Thanksgiving plate right now.
You got Scott. Okay, a lot of good stuff in
Incredible.
there. You eat.
I was so
chili?
entertained by that analysis. That was beautiful.
I'm
Wow.
eating.
You should have a marvelous
Starving.
minute.
Scott's marvelous minute. I
That's my
can't get
marvelous
over
meal, baby.
that's great. I can't get over the chili.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, this is coming from my grandma, so like I know everybody does the gravy. We do chili in our household because she used to make it. She grew up in Albuquerque, you know, all the Hispanic influence and everything down there. She was the best, and she made the best chili of all time. So my mom has carried on that tradition, and we slapped the chili on instead of the gravy.
Wow. Okay. Dude, I should have gone first because I can't top what you just did. You just
Dude, yeah, you can.
Confidence.
Confidence, my man.
All right, here we go.
I
Okay.
can't emphasize how little faith I have in you.
No, I can do it. I can do it. All right, here we go. For me, turkey obviously is the mainstay, the backbone of the Thanksgiving dinner. You cannot have Thanksgiving dinner without turkey. It is the first thing that you put on your plate. And for me, that's the entire offensive line of the Detroit Lions. I'm going to be watching them tomorrow as I eat turkey. That's why it made me think about them. The number one O-line in the league. They're gritty. They've got their run game rushing 150 yards per game. Okay. It's top 5 in the league. It's the best O-line in the league. They are our turkey. I didn't separate it into white and dark meat. Just turkey is turkey. Now, what's next? You need your mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes is the second thing that you put on your plate. After you get your turkey, you get your mashed potatoes. Those are kind of your two big ones. And that is Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, imagine him protected by the Detroit Lions offensive line. Joe Burrow is one of the most talented quarterbacks in the NFL. His O-line sucks. He's pressured all the time. He has to deal with a bunch of bullshit. Imagine Joe Burrow, the mashed potatoes, being protected by that big old turkey of the Detroit Lions O-line. Next, what do you put on your mashed potatoes? Do you eat them plain like a psychopath? No, you put gravy on your mashed potatoes. You don't necessarily need gravy, but it really makes it a lot better. So the gravy is Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow combination. That's mashed potatoes and gravy. Gosh, that's going to just be delicious with the turkey of the Detroit Lions O-line. Now, you do want a little bit of healthy stuff on there. It's not necessarily going to taste great, but you want some greens. We got green beans on our Thanksgiving plate. Who are our green beans? It's Zach Bond, the linebacker for Philly. Look, linebacker has come a little bit, it's become a little bit less important and less glamorous than other defensive positions in the league in recent years. You've got your star edge rushers. You've got your star DBs or corners who make a lot of money. Linebackers a little bit overlooked, but when you have a great linebacker on your defense, it's a little bit healthier of a defense. When you have your green beans on your plate, it's a little bit healthier of a plate. So that's who we have. Green beans, Zach Bond out of Philly. Then you got your stuffing. Stuffing is a little bit underrated. Like it's not really a staple or backbone, but you kind of throw that on there as like a little bit of side next to your mashed potatoes and gravy. Some people put it in the turkey. I don't do that. But
it's called stuffing.
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't have to stuff it. So my stuffing, underrated, goes great with the turkey, which is the Detroit Lions O-line. Chuba Hubbard, running back for the Carolina Panthers. Very underrated, but imagine Chuba Hubbard running behind that Detroit Lions O-line. And then lastly, just a little bit of splash of sweet. Cranberries. Some people do this, some people don't. I think it's it's kind of growing on me a little bit. Just a little bit of that for some sweet. Chris Boswell, kicker for the Pittsburgh Steelers, top kicker in the NFL this year, 94% on his field goals. He was 6 for 6 the other week in the game against the Ravens. Chris Boswell is our cranberries to top it off. What do you think? Which dinner would you rather eat, Mike?
I'll have Scott's dinner. Okay. Break me down. And here's why: because the chili sounds really good on top of it.
Oh, dude, yeah, she made it with chunks of meat in it too, so it's not just the chili. Oh.
That's what I need. That's what I need.
Okay.
Oh. Sorry, yours is good. I would have yours. I would heat yours up the next day and have it, for lunch.
So second, top 2.
Yeah. All I gotta say is Boswell in the cranberries. He has to be the cranberries straight out of the can, the one that goes.
Oh, dude,
flops
you
on the
got
plate.
does it go again?
That's not fresh. That's nothing. That
no
gross pick.
respect for Boswell,
No,
dude.
no,
What?
just-
After that performance a couple weeks ago, 6 for 6. You're calling him artificial cranberries,
Yeah.
dude. He is fresh cranberries for sure.
No, he's
All right.
he's cylindrical when he comes out of the can, and he stays like it.
Cylindrical.
That's a
squat.
funny word.
That is a good word. All right, so there's our Thanksgiving NFL dinners. Hope everybody has a good Thanksgiving tomorrow. Be
Yeah.
thankful for your brothers. Be nice to your older brothers. Mike, I'm talking to everybody here, not just you.
Mhm.
I'm also talking to you. Thanks.
Be
Let's
nice to your little
touch
brother.
on. Let's touch on a little bit of college basketball. We haven't talked much college basketball yet, but the college basketball season obviously is in the
Heating up,
swing
baby.
of things. It's heating up a little bit. UConn, their coach, Dan Hurley. Scott, do you know how many years that he's been here at UConn?
I want to say this is going to be his 5th or 6th, and he's had
Okay,
a stupid good tenure there. Like obviously back-to-back national championships. Like
Yeah.
this guy is clearly a solid coach.
All right, I'm going to show you a couple things here, a couple clips. Will you, one second, let me throw this up.
Lethargic.
All right. It's very lethargic. Okay, we see Coach Dan Hurley on the sideline here reacting to an over-the-back foul call. Do you see that? Okay, Mike, you seeing this?
Oh, yeah.
Flop
Oh,
on the ground.
oh my.
This man is what, 60-something, 65 years old? This is an adult man flopping onto the ground like that after the call. And then let me just pop up his post-game press conference after to kind of explain his behavior, if you will.
Let's see this.
Here we go. Sharing this tab. All right, here we go.
But I had a lot of issues with what went on out there.
Yes, you do.
In the game. That over the back call at that point of the game, there was no attempt to block out. There was a player on Memphis that made a half-ass effort to rebound that basketball. And Liam McNeely high-pointed that rebound. For that call to be made at that point of the game was a complete joke. All right. And then for me, I don't know what happened. I might have lost my balance by the absurdity of the call, or maybe I tripped.
That's funny.
But if I made that call at that point, I would have ignored the fact that I was on my back. If I made that call, I would have ignored that. I would have ignored that. That was a major, obviously a major. How you could call that while that game was going on, the way that game was going on, is just beyond me. But I know, I've never seen the one ref before. I didn't even know he was a college ref. And then, I'm familiar with the other two, so I'm not surprised.
Okay.
Why is he whispering? He's trying to act like he's this really calm guy.
Yeah.
So just to prove his point of the absurdity of the call. It's a good approach. Look, I'm whispering. I'm so calm and collected all the time. That's how bad this ref's call was.
That's true. It is a respectable approach. And he also did the joke that he said that was actually really, really funny, where he said, I might have fallen down or tripped because of the absurdity.
That's funny.
Plus 5 points for that. However, in the grand scheme of things, in general, what the hell kind of behavior is this from a basketball coach? This guy is, can you imagine behaving like this? And this guy's won national championships. How would you feel? Is this worse than that Arizona State coach screaming?
Yeah, dude, this is way worse because he's double the age and he's got children that have gone through the college ranks. And it's just like, talk about grown man. Like, you've been through the ringer of life, and obviously you're incredibly successful, right? Like, you've gotten those 2 national championships. You had your own playing career. You've had a very stellar coaching career to get to the point of being at UConn to then win the national championship. So like, dude, you're an established guy. So like, clearly he's doing some things right, but I think at a certain point, like, you do let the emotions get to you a little too much. And this is clearly what's happening with Dan. And like, he's always been known to be a fiery guy. He's always been known to be like shooting from the hip and doing all that kind of stuff and being emotional and all that kind of stuff. But like, when it gets to a point in which you're just like flailing on the ground, like my 2-year-old is doing like now, like, I don't know. This is just weird coming from a grown man, coaching, what are technically still kids, 18-year-olds and maybe 19-year-olds. Like, this is just wild, dude.
Yeah. Look, and here's another one, Scott. Will you pop this up too? This is him the following day, like having to be held back by his assistant coach. It's like one of his assistant coaches just has to babysit him. It's like, how as a player, I wonder how his players respond to this. Like, do you think that they get fired up and he's like, oh, look how passionate coach is, we should play harder? Hey,
yeah. I think there may be an element of that, but it's worn off. Like, that stuff that wears off really quickly when you start realizing, oh, my coach is a psycho. That's what he is. Like, I'm not getting juiced up by this. I'm actually scared for my life or something like that. Not that he would ever threaten somebody's life. No. But it does look like he wants to fight his own assistant coach who's trying to hold him back from getting another technical, which will hurt the team, because that's what he's trying to coach. He's trying to coach the team to win. Granted, yeah, they've had 2 straight losses to teams that are unranked. And that one, like, putting into context, like, he was flailing on the ground because that was like the last seconds of the game. They were about to lose. They're 2-time national championships, like I said, or champions. So he's got like some sort of pride and wanting his team to win, especially in the Maui Invitational. And like, if you're losing as the back-to-back national champion to 2 unranked teams back-to-back, he's probably fired up. But like, when he starts kind of turning on his own coach, and granted, I don't know what was said there, but it does look like he wants to just like give a swift uppercut to his own guy who's holding him back from getting a technical.
Yeah, dude. Look, we've got to compare this now to the Kentucky coach. Here, let me pop this up here.
Yeah, a blue blood program too.
Okay,
like,
a blue blood program right here from University of Kentucky.
What does that mean? What does blue blood program mean?
It's like the ancient 8 at in the Ivy League and all that kind of stuff. So it's just like the old, like, traditional teams that won. Yeah.
Yeah. So check this out. 30 seconds. This is Pope speaking about a referee call that did not go this way.
I want our players to feel the same way that I do, is that the referees actually have no power over whether we win or lose the game. And the calls are really hard. But if I can be disciplined and keep my focus on the game, I think it helps our players be disciplined and help their focus on the game come what may from refs. And what we've done is we had a really serious meeting with all the players and the whole staff, and we just agreed that we would let Leanne handle the refs, and we're just going to work on the game.
So that is the complete opposite side of the coin, different mentality, 100%. I got to say, I think we're all going to agree on this, that is the approach right there. Like, the other way is just such a victim mentality, like blaming the refs. Are you kidding me? You're blaming the refs. This is like little elementary school recess basketball behavior right here.
This is something that's really near and dear to Nick's heart as a ref.
Yeah. I get fired up because I was a ref. I was a basketball ref. So I like how the Kentucky coach is behaving right here. And also just setting the example of, like, it's completely within our control. The outcome of a game does not come down to the referees or the officials. And this, like, plays out in life broadly. I actually just got in a little bit of a Twitter spat with somebody because I tweeted a thing. You know that video that I tweeted or made yesterday on Instagram?
You could just do stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you can just do stuff, right? Somebody responded to that and said, well, actually, it all comes down to your circumstances. Whoops.
Oh, my God.
Sorry. Actually, it all just comes down to your circumstances, and it's not that easy, and it's really all about luck. And I fired back at him, and I said, this is just absolutely nonsense victimhood mentality right here.
Yeah.
And this is the exact same thing right here.
Dude, all about luck. Like, that's such a low resolution argumentation and way to look at life. Like, the only people who are successful are lucky. Yeah, there may be a few people who have been and who had like a leg up with finances and all that kind of stuff. But hey, dude, the majority of people throughout mankind have not been lucky. They've been hard workers, and they've built up society to a point in which, like, you can even have the ability to tweet out some asinine bullshit like that. Like, dude, this is such a stupid way of looking at life and looking at people who are successful. Stop being jealous and go do shit yourself.
There we go, Scott. Hey, Scott's fired up
that.
today.
Oh,
there we go, Scott. Okay. What was
I'm
your
inspired.
I'm ready. Hey, I'm ready to run through a brick wall right now.
Yeah. Well, going back to this is like, okay, the Kentucky coach, first year coach at Kentucky, like I said, blue blood program. Dude, Calipari was there for many years, and he got pushed out the door after winning national champions as we were growing up in high school years. Like, they were dominant after Florida was, right? So they dominated the 2010s, and then he got pushed out the door this past year. And then Pope comes in, former player. Like, he went through the Kentucky ranks and played in those old school programs and learned how to play the game. I know Dan Hurley and his brother have had playing careers as well. His brother played at Duke and had a great time there with, I believe it was Grant Hill. So like, like it's in their blood as well, but it's like the vastly different approach. I talked about this earlier with like people who are in like different athletes have different takes and different characteristics and different ways in which they respond to coaching and motivation and so on and so forth. So it's like incumbent upon the coach to be able to coach to the individual and then the team. So like I get the sense that Pope's messaging and the way he approaches issues and the game itself is just like, no, dude, don't blame anybody. It's all on you. Yeah. You're the one who can decide the outcome of this game. And think about 40 plays earlier. Like if you had done something differently, that call would not have been as influential as it was. So like do your job, do it right, and do it as well as you can. Ajay Quadagis, as you started this show, do well what you do.
Bring it back to the Jesuit high school motto. Shout out Ajay Quadagis. I can't even say it. Ajay Quadagis. There we go. My Latin is a little rusty right now. Scott, I mean, that's exactly what it is. And I just like, you are in control. And this, like, that's why I think this really resonates with us right here, is because that messaging right there, you are in control of your life. Like, granted, there are outside circumstances. There are bad things that happen to you. Maybe you start, a little bit behind on something. Maybe the refs are bad, but you are completely in control. How do you respond to that stuff? They say, like, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond to that. And I 100% believe that's in that. This coach right here, Pope, is spitting facts, and I respect the hell out of him way more than our guy rolling around on the floor, Dan Hurley.
Look, that's not to say coaching doesn't need some sort of energy to like hype up dudes, right? Like,
yeah,
Deion,
but like a proper energy, like not sophomoric. This is sophomoric, Scott.
There we go. I didn't do it. You did it.
I did it. Hey, you planted it in my brain.
Inception.
Yeah, there we go. Mike, what do you think?
What?
Were you listening, Mike? You paying attention?
Completely concur with the anti-flop on the floor position. How could you not?
Okay, that's not controversial. Good. So we're on the same page there. Great. We're at an hour right now. Should we touch on this MLB big contract stuff, or you guys want to do it on Friday?
Let's touch that. Well, Friday we have the interview.
True. Actually, we should have said that at the start of this episode because people thought that this would be happening today. We did do our interview, and it's going to come out on Friday with an NFL fullback, the rare fullbacks in the NFL. So that'll be on Friday coming out. Mike, did you have fun?
I had so much fun today. My new microphone, I felt so professional, and it helps with my self-esteem and my self-confidence. I feel like what I have to say is valuable.
Wow, that's why every time I've got a great point.
Yeah, exactly. You know why this is a great point? Look at the microphone. See?
Clearly a professional commentator. All right, there we go. So everyone, thanks for watching. Friday, tune in to our first ever interview episode, our guest, and let us know what you think. All right. Mike, Scott, see you later.
Peace.